Hello, today we're going to start looking at simplifying exponent expressions that contain rational exponents. So we did problems earlier in here with simplifying exponent expressions. We learned all of our exponent rules. Those haven't changed. The only thing that's different about these problems is that they have fraction exponents in them now. That's the only thing that's changed. Today we're going to focus on the product rule, which I'm going to just refresh your memory on that. The product rule says if I'm multiplying two things together that have the same base, like x to the a times x to the b, I simplify that as x to the a plus b power. So to do all these problems here today, notice that all we see going on is multiplying. We are going to multiply coefficients, aka the numbers in front. And then we are going to use that product rule and add like exponents. So that is what we will be doing to simplify these today. And then we'll add on other exponent rules as we go in the next few lessons. You might notice that I have Desmos pulled up. If you think back to when you learned how to deal with adding, subtracting fractions back in the day, in order to add or subtract fractions by hand, you have to have a common denominator, and sometimes that gets to be a little bit gnarly of a process. So I'm going to encourage you to use a calculator to add or subtract your fractions, or whatever you need to do with them when we go into the future. No shame in doing that. Whatever helps you get the right answer efficiently is what I'm after. I'm not so concerned that you know how to do this stuff by hand as much as you know how to simplify the exponents. That's more of our focus than doing things by hand. So let's try the first one out. So I'm going to start by multiplying my coefficients. And what I'm going to do is write an in-between step here. I know I need to multiply 4 and 3 together to get my final answer coefficient. And then notice that we have multiple variables going on. So let's go one variable at a time. For x's, I have 1/2 and 3/2. X to the 1/2 times x to the 3/2, using my product rule, simplifies into x to the 1/2 plus 3/2. Same thing with our y. We have a hidden 1. Anytime we don't see an exponent, something is a hidden 1. And we have a 3/2. So I'm thinking y to the 1 plus 3/2. What I have written here is not my final answer, but it's to help me get to my final answer. So to finish this out, 4 times 3 is just 12. You can use a calculator for that if you'd like, but that's not too bad. And then the other things, I will show you how to use Desmos as a calculator. You can use a regular calculator too, that's fine, but Desmos is what you've got on your iPad, so I recommend that one. To add these together in Desmos, 1/2 plus 3/2, I need to do 1 divided by 2 to get my fraction, arrow over, plus sign, and then 3 divided by 2. And I get just 2. So that means my x exponent simplifies into x to the 2, or x squared. Now I'm going to do the same thing for y. 1 plus 3 divided by 2 gives me 2.5. A standard rule that we have in math is we don't write decimals in exponents. They would be very hard to read. And so we're just going to write all of our answers for our exponents as fractions. So the way I can do that in Desmos, they gave me a decimal. To switch that to a fraction, if I click on this right here, which looks like box over box, that means it'll switch into a fraction. Boom. 2.5 is the same as 5/2. So then my y exponent is going to be 5/2. So notice in our final answer, we have a coefficient, and my exponents are either integers, aka whole numbers, or they are improper fractions. We don't want to see decimals or mixed numbers in our final answer. Let's try a few more. So for all of these, I'm going to write the in-between step. It's totally optional, but it can help us just keep on track. I know I'm going to be multiplying my coefficients together, so I'm thinking 2 times 4. M's, I only have one of them, m to the 7/4. And I do have 2 of those, so I'll have to do some combining there. I'm going to add those exponents on the end, so 1/2 plus 2. So for my final answer, 2 times 4 turns into 8. Since I only had one m exponent, that's going to stay the same, 7/4. And for my ends, I can use Desmos. I'm doing 1/2, or 1 divided by 2, plus, oops, it should be a 2. Once again, I get 2.5, so let's switch that to a fraction, hit that blue, looks like box over box thing here, and Desmos switches that into 5/2 for us. So n to the 5/2 is also part of our final answer. When you're doing these on your own, if you write them in a different order, like if you did the n to the 5/2, then the m to the 7/4, not a big deal. We do always want the coefficient in front, but the variable's order is not important. couple more. So I need to multiply my coefficients. I'm thinking 4 times 2. And then be careful with u's and v's. Sometimes people get thrown off with u's and v's. U to the 1/3 and u to the 3/2. So we'll be adding those two fractions together. And then same idea with the v's. I've got v to the 1/4 and v to the 1/2. For my final answer, 4 times 2 is just 8. For the u, let's use Desmos to help us with the fractions. 1/3 plus 3/2. We don't want that decimal. To switch it to the fraction, hit the little fraction symbol next to this. We get 11/6. Kind of weird looking fraction. We're going to get some weird fractions for these, and that's perfectly fine. Don't let that scare you. And for the last one, for v, I need to add 1/4 plus 1/2. Gives me a decimal. Hit the fraction button to turn that into a fraction. I get 3/4. So again, you are welcome to add, subtract. Subtracting will be in the future. You're welcome to add these exponents by hand, but you are also welcome to use Desmos to make your life a little bit simpler. Let's try one last one. So this one has 3 things being multiplied together. Guess what? The process is still the same. We're still multiplying our coefficients. We're still adding our exponents. So 2, 2, and 4 are all getting multiplied together like that. A's, I have a to the 1, a to the 1, and a to the 3/4. So I'm going to do 1 plus 1 plus 3/4. B's, I have 4/3. That's a 4. It looks kind of goofy. And then I have 3/4. So then let's simplify. 2 times 2 is 4, times 4 is 16 for my final answer coefficient. For A, you are welcome to use Desmos. 1 plus 1 plus 3/4. And then remember to switch that to a fraction. We get 11/4. And then for B's, 4/3 plus 3/4. Go ahead and switch that to a fraction. We get 25/12. And that right there, one coefficient, 1a power, 1b power is our final answer. So we are all finished. So friendly reminders, coefficients go in front. You multiply your coefficients together, get your final answer coefficient. To simplify your exponents, add like exponents. And make sure that you write those exponents as either integers or as improper fractions. No mixed numbers, no decimals. We'll add on more exponent rules in the future, but that is it for today. Have a lovely day.